Hello, welcome to the Stitch Upon a Time Ursula Leggings sew along. I'm excited. This is another like easy breezy sew along. It's super cute. This pattern has so many different options. I was really kind of intimidated about, well, not intimidated, but overwhelmed about what to choose. I really wanted to do the diamond cutout. I wanted to do the skirt. I wanted to do all of it. And then I was like, this is too much. I need to dial it back down a little bit. So I decided, I was like, with spring and summer coming up, I think having a pair of leggings that I don't have a lot of short leggings, which I love to do those underneath dresses and stuff during the summer, because then I don't have I'm not sweating in super long. Even capri leggings sometimes can get too hot around here. So I thought, well, I'll do the short version, but I can't just do shorts for so long. I mean, that would be one day like, oh, here we are, it's done. So I am super excited because I'm going to do the skirt, the tulip skirt with it. So it's going to be a short set with a tulip skirt, which is going to be perfect for summer. And I mean, even the spring with the weather around here. So I'm really excited about it. Like I said, there are a bunch of different options on this pattern. If you are wanting to do a gusset, I'm not going to do that with this one because we did it with our Petite Stitchery & Co. Tristan leggings. So if you're wanting to do the gusset and you're like, I don't know how to do this, check out those videos. That will definitely help you with that. It's super easy once you kind of see it, I think. So definitely check out those videos if you're wanting to do the gusset. The same with the cutouts. If you want to do the diamond cutouts, they're not as bad as they, you don't have to be intimidated by them. They're not that bad. So if you want some hints, or not hints, some tips and tricks on doing cutouts, we did the Colby cutout, the cutout for the Colby, but also the Isla sew along that we did had cutout for the back. So you can check out those videos if you're wanting some tips on those. I thought I wanted to do them, but I was like, let's just stick with the plan. Don't get too crazy overwhelmed with things. So hopefully by now you've got your pattern and you've got your fabric all cut out. If not, pause this video, grab the pattern. There'll be a link in the description, and then cut out your fabric before you start the video. What you'll need is you will need 2 waistband pieces. You're going to need 2 waistband lining pieces. I found that I do really prefer the legging patterns that have waistband linings in them. It just kind of helps hold everything in. I've tried doing it where you have like a fold over waistband. The old pegs used to be like that, where it was just a fold over waistband and it didn't have a legging or didn't have a lining. But I really like this extra lining there. It helps hold things in a little bit better. So you'll need a lining. And then if you're doing the skirt version with me, you will need a back cut on the fold, and you will need 2 front pieces mirror image each other. So when I cut that, I just like to cut it with my fabric folded in half so that I don't have to worry about, do I switch the fabric? Do I switch the pattern piece? You fold your fabric in half. You don't cut it on the fold, but it'll give you 2 lovely mirror image pieces. And then you'll need your leggings pieces. So like I said, I'm just doing the shorts. The nice thing about these 2 is that it's one piece. The legging is just one piece. So you don't have to worry about putting a front and a back together and having multiple seams. I really like that with my leggings when there's just a minimal amount of seams. So today, super easy. All we're going to be doing is putting our leggings together. We're just going to be putting the leggings, the pant legs together, and then tomorrow we'll be putting the skirt together, and then the last day we'll be attaching it all together and adding the waistband, and we'll be done. So I mean, last week it was like 30-minute days. I think this week might even be less because there's not quite as much stuff to do. Now if you are doing full leggings and you're adding the leg warmer pieces or the diamond cutout pieces, you'll have a little bit more time to your pattern today. But if you're just doing basic leggings or the leggings with the skirt, it'll be super easy peasy. So let's get right into it. let's add this in here. In case you're wondering, this is a little sneak peek. The new Ash and Elm Spring capsule box is going to be dropping soon, and this is one of the designs, the new designs that's going to be in it. It's so cute. It's a double border, and I absolutely love it. I got it, and I just had so many ideas. So I made this V-neck from Simple Life. Love it. Okay, so let's get right into it. Sorry, sidetrack. So what we need to do is we need to take our legging piece, and as you can see, it's all, you've got the front and the back. We'll back this up a little bit. Okay, so we've got the front and the back all on one piece, and I really like this because it means there's minimal seams. All we need to do is fold them over, and we're going to match this little piece here for the leg. If you're doing a full-length legging, it'll be longer, or capris. But since I'm doing the shorts, it's just this little section here. And we need to sew down this section. I believe I read 3/8 seam allowance. I need to just write these things down. So let me just triple check that that is correct before I have you start doing it. 1/2 seam allowance. Okay, good thing I checked. All right, so we're gonna do 1/2 seam allowance along here. If you're using a regular sewing machine, use a stretch stitch or a lightning stitch, or triple stretch or lightning or zigzag stitch. What I really, really recommend, since they are leggings, they're meant to be tighter, and your stitches are going to want to pull. So I really recommend doing your stretch stitch and then going back through and reinforcing it with a zigzag stitch. That's when I'm using my sewing machine for things like this. That's what I like to do, is I always like to reinforce those seams just to give it a little bit extra holding, so that when my fabric stretches, my seams don't want to show through. Okay, so 1/2 seam allowance. Alrighty, and that is one legging done, or one side done, one leg. And we're going to do the exact same thing with the other side. We're just going to fold it in half and line up the leg area here. So if you're doing a full length or capri, it's going to be longer, but if you're doing shorts, you'll have just a nice little piece here. 1/2 seam allowance. All right, now what we need to do is we need to attach the front, or the left and the right together. So we're going to flip one legging so that it's right side up, and we are going to slip it right in so that our two legs are right sides together. And then we're just going to line up the top corner. Make sure those middle seams line up. I will use a pin. I do recommend, especially if you're new with knits, to pin all the way down, just to make sure you have good, because knits can tend to slip or stretch, and you just want to make sure you have a good handle on your fabric. I really, until you're more experienced with knits and know a little bit more about what's happening, I really, really recommend pinning as much as you can. So before I get to sewing, what we're going to do now is, you can see we've got this U here. We're just going to sew 1/2 along this U to connect the left and the right leg together. Again, if you're using a regular sewing machine, you want to make sure that you're using a triple stretch or a zigzag or a lightning stitch. I personally prefer the lightning stitch and then going back through with a zigzag stitch, but I mean, a triple stretch would be good too for this, because the triple stretch, what it'll do is it actually goes back and does kind of it goes back through 3 times, so it gives it a good reinforcement. it just pokes more holes in the fabric then. But they're, I mean, it's not bad. It's just a preference. Okay, so we're just gonna sew all the way around you. We just want to make sure that the raw edges are nice and lined up. If they're not, your length will be kind of wonky. So make sure that your raw edges are always nice and lined up. Okay. Now we can turn these out and we've got a pair of leggings. Almost. All that's left to do today is to hem the bottoms. If you are doing the leg warmer or diamond bottom, you'll have a little bit extra to do. You have to do those cutout pieces. But if you're just doing the plain leggings or the shorts like I am, all we need to do is just fold this over. Let me make sure I have the right hem allowance too, because that's always a little different. Usually hem is an inch, but let me just see. I bet it'll be down on the instructions where it talks about hemming. Okay, let's see. Come on, hemming. Okay, here we go. Sorry. There was like, nope, that's not the right one either. Okay, it looks like it wants you to fold over 1/8 of an inch and then do 5/8 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch and then stitch it at the. Okay, here we go. Please don't tell me these. There's so many different options on these. I want to make sure. Okay. With the pants wrong side out, use a fabric marker to draw 1.5 inch. Wow. Okay, so it's a 1.5 inch. Okay, no, now it says use 3/4 hem allowance to hem the bottom edge of the pants. Maybe this is for. Okay, I'm just going to use a 3/4 inch hem allowance because if I do 1.5 inches, these shorties are going to be undies. So I'm just going to do 3/4 inch hem allowance. So we're just going to fold it over. Just so when I hem, I like to make sure you can use a measuring tool. So I've got one of these. I don't even know what it's called. Honestly, I think it's just like a hem ruler or something. But what's nice about it is that you can do so many different things. But so like if I need 3/4 inch, I can move this red thing to 3/4 inches. And then all I have to do is fold my hem over and then line the red thing up with it. And then I can see, okay, I'm slightly over. So this is really nice if you want to be exact, and then you can go through and you can iron it down, you can clip it down or pin it down. But I really like doing that when I'm trying to be more specific. A lot of times I just get it as a base and I go, okay, that's what I'm supposed to be at, and then go from there. At the same time, when it's like 1 inch, that's what most things are. I can tend to eye that on my own. But these are really nice. Like I said, I think it's called a hemming ruler, or I'll look it up and let you know. But so when hemming, if you are using a regular sewing machine, again, you're going to want to use a stretch stitch to hem, because you want those stitches to move with your creation. In other words, your hems are going to pop. So I love my cover stitch because it does it all for me, and it's fast. If you've been sewing with me, you know how much I like that. The biggest thing is you just want to make sure you get as close to the edge as possible. You don't want a lot of fabric left over because it'll fold a lot easier. Like it'll fold over and it just won't look as clean. So trying to get it at the edge as much as possible. Sometimes I do better. And then I like to run over my stitches by about 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, somewhere in between there, however I'm feeling, just to make sure they're nice and locked in. Then we pull threads to the front, snip them, yank it to the back. And what that does is that brings the thread to the back of the garment and locks it in. Okay, so I'll need to iron them. But, okay, so let's do it one more time here. We'll use this little handy dandy. I don't know. That's just the name I'm giving it. If you know the actual name for it, definitely let me know. It's one of those tools that I've had in my collection for a long time. Okay, and then again, we just want to get as close to the edge as possible. 3/4 inch all the way around. Oh, I gotta fold. There we go. That was not going to be. And then I just like to clip those threads from when I started before I run over them. Okay, and then pull threads to the front and clip them, yank them to the back. And there we have it. We have our finished leggings. If you are doing, so since tomorrow we're doing the skirt, if you're not doing the skirt portion and you're doing one of the fancy bottoms, I would just wait and do the fancy cuffs tomorrow while we're working on the skirt. That way your day is nice and short. If not, you can do your fancy cuffs today and then have a break tomorrow and do put it all together, put the waistband on with us on the last day. But here we have it. We've got our shorts, and tomorrow we are going to whip up our skirt, and then all that's left is putting together the waistband and adding all the components together, and we'll have our skirted Ursula leggings. Eek. I'm excited, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I can't wait to see what you make. Bye.